Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, he's a man who's never turned down a profit. He's my co-host, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, good evening everybody, welcome.
Welcome back indeed for another instalment of the show.
Yes. Great show ahead.
This week, we will be looking into prophecies and predictions, as it's that time of the year again where we take a look at Nostradamus.
Yes, we got.
He's that French dude who we want to know what he thinks, man. He's wrote all these quatrain poems.
What's going ahead?
What's going to be happening in 2023?
Ooh,
yeah. We do this every year.
We do.
And also, we'll be looking at what he predicted for 2022 and see what he got right and see what might potentially yet to come.
Yeah.
Primarily 2023.
Yeah, that's going to be the important one, I think. But then, we'll
be getting into it. We will be getting into it. I hope we had a couple of people messaging us about last week's show saying they enjoyed it. The idea behind selling the soul to the devil.
Yeah, well, you know, we've all done it. We've all thought about it. Well, we've all thought about it.
I've never done that.
I've never done it, but I've thought about it.
Never gone down to the crossroads.
Well, no, forget the crossroads.
Well, thanks for all the comments. If you do want to comment or get in touch, you can always get in touch with us. Very approachable people.
You can, yeah.
Send us a message, a tweet, or whatever, and we'll make sure we get back to you because we always kind of value your input and kind of helps make the show better. Plus, we'd like to hear from people if you've got a fucked up thing happening in your area. Say if you've got a urban legend or a ghost story or something going on in your neck of the woods that you think's a bit bizarre or spooky.
There definitely is.
Cryptids. Yeah, monsters, whatever. Get in touch. We want to hear from you where you live, and we'll do some extra research to try and find what else is going on in your town. That'll be what's fucked up where you're from. Plus, it's October.
It is
spooky month.
It is spooky month.
I love October. It's my birthday in October.
It is. Happy birthday.
It's actually my birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, me.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
How old are you this time?
I'm not telling you.
Oh.
Leave that to the people to work out the guess. Yeah, you can guess.
Yeah, guess and send a message in.
Send us a guess. Yeah. You've seen my picture. You probably think. I don't want to hear horrible guesses either.
Whatever it is, add an extra 10 on, and you might be around about the area.
But yeah, so like I say, going off topic there. We do have a great show for you today. But I was going to say something then. I've totally forgot what it was.
Blanked out.
You threw me.
I threw you.
Yeah, with my birthday thing. How old am I?
Well, sorry, mate.
Well, yeah, it's all right. Well, what's it? What we're going to do is carry on with the show. So,
we will?
Shut up. Right, so we're looking at, like I say, Nostradamus this week. But what have you been up to this week?
Me? Just more research, to be honest. But I have got a question for you.
Oh, go for it.
Because this week there's been a lot of
You're going to throw me off again now. What? Go on. So you've got a question for me. And it's usually me having questions for you, so I like this. Nice change of pace.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's your birthday. It happens every now and again.
All right, go on.
Right, what do you think about kids having the access to internet? Because this week, and quite a lot on the internet and quite a lot in the British news, actually, because of certain deaths because of teenagers watching stuff, done stuff.
It's funny you should bring this up because I was actually talking to my mother about this before. Yeah, and I feel like kids should be able to look into things that they're interested in. I don't feel like the internet should be banned for kids. Yeah, I think it is a good resource.
Yeah,
but
access. Yeah.
Again, it's like what we were talking about in the Satanic Panic episode a couple of weeks ago. If you didn't check that out, make sure you do because it's really interesting because it's how the blame gets shifted. You're basically essentially saying, oh, people should be held in account of having this media or video or music out there, and the parents more often than not will blame the production companies, the artists themselves, and the distributors, not themselves exactly, when they're the first line of defense to their children.
But it doesn't help sometimes when the government takes some of the powers away.
You've kind of given them a Wu-Tang Clan album and they're like 6. There's some heavy lyrical content in there. So don't be surprised if they're going to be saying words or repeating words that you're not comfortable with. But then you know, as a parent, you should have read the lyrics, should have checked who's made it, and checked, even listened to it yourself to make sure it's appropriate. And I feel like that it kind of applies to the internet as well.
Yeah.
In terms of websites being built with a certification.
Well,
so
this is what they're looking at, maybe another internet.
Well, not necessarily another internet, but if basically all website providers, so like we build our website and we host it on a platform, right?
Yeah.
So we should be able to have the option to say, this website is not suitable for children, right? And we tick a little box or whatever, and any devices registered to a person younger than a certain age shouldn't be able to access my site because it's had an 18 certificate, or it's not meant for immature eyes, right?
Yeah, but your kids,
it's a difficult thing because a lot of websites are independently produced, and put out there by people like me and you. They're not all corporations. So the thing about internet access is there's a lot of people out there in communication, talking, messaging, instant messaging, video calls, and what worries me about the internet and children is who they're talking to.
Yeah. That's
and if it's somebody who's like not a personal friend or somebody they play out with or whatever, then they shouldn't be talking to a stranger in the same
sense as if you're walking down the street.
Because we were always instilled that, we don't talk to strangers. But are we doing exactly that for the internet? We're not distilling that.
We're sort of giving him to do it.
That danger of not talking to strangers on the internet, the same as you wouldn't get into a stranger's car. It's like that was distilled into us lot as a very young age because it was pumped into us at school, at home. It was on adverts, and Charlie says all that type of stuff. It doesn't get. I don't feel like it's pushed enough now.
It's
as
very
if to say
loose
it's
now.
as dangerous talking to a stranger on the internet as it is
more
talking
now,
to one
definitely.
in real life or in the real world or whatever. And I feel like kids might think that they're protected because they've got this anonymity of being hidden behind the internet. That nobody's going to get me. I can say what I want, or I can talk to whoever I want because they'll never find me. Well, that's not the case. I've got a story about something I'll tell you about in a minute because when, I've been watching a few documentaries this week, but there's one documentary about that same thing. It's like people will, if they want to find you, they'll find you.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not that hard no more. It wasn't hard in the first place, to be honest. You know what I mean? But it's much easier now.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. I feel that parents should have a bit more kind of like, saying what they're doing, but maybe not be as harsh, but also, harsh enough that it protects the children.
And it shouldn't be used as a tool to be easy to get with.
Phones, phone manufacturers and companies who make tablets, laptops and all that should be providing a feature that parents are able to access that switches sensitive content off, as well as a responsibility of website makers. So it's all our responsibility, really. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of different avenues where a lot of people can be doing a lot more.
But I think the law is slacking a lot on it when, or ministers or MPs who should be actually going in there.
Well, this is the thing, though, because it should be the companies that think of this stuff themselves. They should be having ethical sit down chats about how their company operates and what the effects of their company does, right? So are they kind of creating, not paying the workers in fucking other lands enough money, or are they kind of like the business practices, all these type of things? Do you know what I mean? They should be having sort of ethical conversations and working out whether their products are safe for the consumers, and being part of that is the kids' safety, because kids are all using mobile phones, so they should be putting in a feature that protects them. Do you know what I mean? And they rave on about internet security and our protection. The kids are using the phones more than the parents.
That is very poor, our protection on
moving on with the show.
And it needs a big protection barrier for adults as well as for kids, for certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But It needed to be there when it first come out, and this is what irritates me about
but it's all
the
about
internet.
development, isn't it? And finding what is needed over what's not needed. So they'll go, oh, well, we had this feature, we got rid of it because nobody used it, but we found people really respond to this next bit. We'll develop that more. Do you know what I mean? So it's all kind of like it's all a test, really, isn't it, to find out what the consumer wants, and it moves, it shifts. So what the consumer wanted last year isn't necessarily what they want this year. That's
true, but like a majority of the reason why this has been opened up for the last week and that is because there was one of an internet group that was sent to court, and they were asked about all this kind of stuff, and they basically, it's not our fault, it's free and everything.
That's why I'm
and
saying they
no
need to take responsibility for what these companies have an ethical.
So we need to bring all of them
about
in.
These things.
We need to bring all of them in and keep bringing them in until they actually do the changes, because otherwise it's just going to
make a change.
It's going to be a different kind of world in 50 years' time.
Heal the world,
man.
I mean? Make it a better place, as that guy once said. I don't remember who he was.
And don't always sit at a video screen.
I watched a really interesting documentary, about cats.
Oh, pussycats.
About the pussies,
right?
And it was a really good documentary. It's on Netflix. It's even in the kind of most popular stuff if you were on Netflix. It's right after Jeffrey Dahmer, right? And it's great. It's actually like the psychology behind cats, and there's basically been a lot of tests done about canines and dogs, and how they get a lot more attention because it's man's best friend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot of dog lovers. I'm a dog lover. I'm a cat lover.
Here.
I'm animals, right? Animal lovers, right? So
you love an animal,
but they've not done as much testing on cats as they have on dogs, right? So this documentary is about kind of doing those sort of Pavlovian experiments to determine, do cats actually have affection for their owners, and whether you can train a cat, basically. Yeah. And it's all about kind of creating a relationship with them. But obviously, there is a kind of thing that people say, you've got to work really hard to get the trust and the love of a cat.
Yeah.
Or felicatus, or whatever is a Latin, apparently. Yeah.
Right,
but the interesting thing that I found out off this documentary was, they actually, a baby, when it cries, it emits a frequency that it's in our nature that we cannot deny it. We cannot ignore it.
That's right.
When a baby cries, it kind of you rather kind of annoys you, or your parental thing kicks in, and you want to help it. Yeah, you cannot, not hear a crying child.
Yeah.
So,
right, you said it's instilled in you.
It's instilled in us. It's the parental thing. Goes back to the our Stone Age ancestors, most probably.
Still ain't going out of that.
And the cat, somewhere along the line, has worked this out, and in its purr, it has a hidden frequency which matches the baby cry exactly.
Little bastards.
Right. So have they kind of consciously went
conjure?
Yeah, basically they go, right, we'll have to take human each, just purr at it, and we'll hypnotise them into feeding us.
Yeah, and then when you get bored of them, go next door and you can
we'll purr at them and all. So isn't that mad, right? But what you were talking about earlier about, people on the internet and stuff, right? So this other cat documentary, if you've not seen this is brilliant, right? And it's called Don't Fuck With Cats. I think I've talked about it a long time ago on the show. But it's the idea that this guy was hurting cats in videos and putting them on the internet. So nobody could work out when they were shot, who shot them, when they were uploaded or anything, So, or who it was, who was doing it.
Get the culprit.
But because the internet loves cats, they went out on an all-out manhunt, right? Discovered something really ridiculous, like the plug socket in his room was an Eastern European plug socket. And then they literally narrowed it down and narrowed it down and narrowed it down to the point where they actually got the guy. And it's a great documentary called Don't Fuck With Cats. If you've not seen it, check it out. So that's been me. Been working a lot, putting a lot of hours this week. So it's nice to be chilling, recording. Day off for my birthday, by the looks of it. So nice. What about you? You said you've been doing some research.
Yeah, I've just been data all sorts of kind of stuff actually. I was looking about a scientist who said that the Loch Ness monster. Mm-hmm. It's a big frog.
A big frog.
A big frog. And he was like, "You what?"
Don't buy that.
Yeah, no. And then I've been looking more into as well.
There's been a guy who's actually been swimming in the Loch Ness recently for a challenge. No, I mean, he basically, I think it was like continuous lengths.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was, but I clocked him on the news. But they were basically going on about the Loch Ness monster, and this guy was going to be swimming in the loch. So I was kind of
watch out
he doesn't get pulled under.
Yeah,
and speculating about what it was, but no one ever said a frog. So why does he think a frog?
Nah, I don't know. I have no clue.
It's one big frog.
It is a frog.
It doesn't look like a frog in any of the pictures.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that was a
because
frog.
it was more long and slender instead of like big, fat and round.
It had a long and slender neck.
You know what I mean? It looked more like
it
a
looked
stone.
more like a diplodocus to me.
Yeah. So I was. I've been looking into other bits of science as well, catching up.
Science, son. I started actually watching Breaking Bad again because I don't want to carry on too long because we've gone 16 minutes already and we've not even we've not really talked about Nostradamus yet.
We haven't.
But we will, don't worry, in a moment. But I started watching Breaking Bad again because like season 6 of Better Call Saul, it's catching up with the Breaking Bad universe. Like, so I thought, you know what, I'll give that enough. It's still great.
Yeah.
You've not watched it.
No,
Everyone email Taylor and tell him to start watching Breaking Bad. Get into popular culture, man.
I want to watch it.
Do you know what I mean? How can you have a rapport with our listeners and go, oh, yeah, I watched Breaking Bad too, and have a conversation with them about it when you don't know?
I would rather look at the real Will.
He'd rather watch, like, I don't know, Deep Impact for the 90 billionth time.
No. But I'll tell you what, that's been on a fucking lot lately.
Maybe they're warning us because we do have Nostradamus coming up in a moment, and that has actually got some worrying things about that.
Oh yeah,
and
as
plus,
always.
Right, with this kind of dart test that they just done, I've got some theories on that as well. Potentially.
All right, okay. Well,
but
get on with it then.
Well, we will. We'll forgo the other stuff.
Yeah,
we'll jump straight into it. Well, have you got? Is that it? We've got no more questions or anything like that, right?
No, I think
not this week, right? No. Okay. Well, like I say, if you want to get involved and send us a question,
please
or
do.
If you've got a what's fucked up where you're from suggestion where you live, get in touch. You can get on the email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com or go to the website at neverstraightanswer.co.uk.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can go to the contact page and send us a message.
You can indeed.
Hey, well, Michel de Nostredame.
Yes.
Depending on the sources, was born on 14th or the 21st of December, 1503. Died in 1566.
Yeah.
He was known for predicting a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He's a French astrologer, physician, and was known for his book of prophecies, Les Prophéties.
Yes.
Which was a collection of 942 poetic quatrains allegedly predicting the future events. The book was first published in 1555.
Yes.
So that's a bit of history. So basically, some of the best known prophecies were the French Revolution, the Great Fire of London, the death of Princess Diana, Hurricane Katrina, and the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Most recently, people are arguing that he actually predicted the Queen, the Queen's death. When he said that she'd die at the age of 96 on the 22nd of the century.
That's freaky.
That is pretty freaky. But again, right, what do you think of the Nostradamus? I mean, we've covered him quite a lot, right? And we've looked at, over the past few years, you could argue that we've looked into Nostradamus more than most people, right? Yeah. And we've kind of looked at what people are saying, we've looked at what he's said, and we've analysed it year to year, right? So in the same instance tonight, we're going to look at what he said would happen this year and see what he got right, what wasn't, didn't happen.
Let's...
I mean, 2001 was an interesting one because of it was a busy year with stuff going on, right? We felt like he got about 50-50, I think, in 2021. 2022... who knows? We're going to check into it. We've got a big list of the stuff. But next year, funny enough, the list of stuff that he's predicted isn't half as long as last year's list. right?
Yeah.
And it is all kind of geared in its favour, in my opinion. When you read what he kind of predicts for 2023, it's kind of like, well, yeah, I can kind of see that. I can see that, you know, and it's almost easily happen or almost geared up to those
Nearly
sort
there.
of things, yeah. So there is some extreme stuff, but like, you know, in terms of extreme, it's kind of religious fundamentalist stuff. We'll be getting into it,
and
but
you don't need to be scared about any of it.
you don't have to be scared about it.
If it happens, it happens. There's fuck all you can do about it, you know what I mean?
I like your way of thinking. I like the way you think.
But
But basically, you know, it's been 400 years since the book was published, but the sales of Nostradamus' Les Prophéties are still pretty big. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
in terms of like
Bigger, I'd say.
you know, podcast topics, yeah, I'd say that the Nostradamus episodes are quite up there in terms of like popularity. People want to know. They have an interest in the prophecies. They have an interest in what the future holds.
Yeah,
and
know
especially
what happens.
after the last couple of years, it's like people are clutching at what, you know, answers and maybe what is there going to be a brighter future, or are we kind of going to get more of this same sort of gloom and sort of bad vibes that we've been getting?
I also think people have spotted that actually they weren't interested in him, but then certain things happened and it's like, hold on, didn't he predict this? And have a look at it that way. Or did someone interpret his prediction? Because realistically, you have to interpret his prediction because it's written like a poem. So you have to.
Well,
put
you
them
interpret
pieces
it
in.
how you want to interpret it, and
people
I feel
have got
like
different interpretations.
I mean, if you're a Nostradamus expert and you've been studying these quatrains for like your whole life, I take your word for it.
Yeah.
But let's face it, the book's selling, people are interested.
Right.
You can kind of look at a world event and then potentially kind of assign meaning from one of these quatrains to one of these events. So it's easy to believe that people have said it's he's predicted the Great Fire of London, he predicted the French Revolution. When do his predictions run out? This is what I wonder. You know, is it one of these things?
39.
All right, so we got plenty of time to go with him. We get episodes like this out forever.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But we also live on for, like he says at the back, we live on for millions of years on.
But again,
So there's no case of we're totally destroyed.
Well, it's just society. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's society as we know it.
Yeah.
Right, is what he's getting at in terms of what the apocalypse means. But like, people have believed in Nostradamus and the truth of his predictions and prophecies. And you know, they feel that his predictions have a lot of validity, and that when, you know, we look at the New Year's coming up and try and kind of suss out what to expect, that they always kind of focus on the negative. I don't ever see any predictions or prophecies that are very kind of like, oh, you're on a winner this one. Yeah, make sure you back the 3:30 at Chepstow, or you know, anything like that. No like almanacs, or anything like, you know, a bit of a tip off that's going to help us out.
But
you know what I mean?
If you remember, about 2 years ago, I think it was, that there was I talked about it on the show a few times about there's a massive push. I don't know what, but there is a massive push to like get that something's going to happen in 2023, 2024. We had to get to Mars by 2024. We had to get to the moon by then.
Well, it's 2029, wasn't it? We had to get to, the
rushed
aim
it
to
up.
get to Mars.
They sped it up, and don't forget, at the same time, near enough, all the countries that could do it was sending up rockets and trying to get up there. And
we talked about it. We said, isn't it funny how all these space agencies are all of a sudden determined to get to Mars all of a sudden, and saying they want to do it by the 2023,
24. And it was like, that was very interesting, which it is interesting on what we're going to say with what's going to happen for next year.
Well, potentially. I mean, well, let's talk about firstly what he predicted for 2022.
Yeah, let's see what happened.
And see if he got anything right, or any of these predictions have potentially come true or have validity going in to the next couple of months.
Has he got some substance?
So, firstly, the US dollar would have collapsed. Did it?
Well, it's at zero, and it has been for a while.
Well, is that a collapse? Is that what would you say?
Well, yeah. Technically,
well, it's not in profit, is it? It's just like you've got no money.
Technically, they're bankrupt. So are we.
Well, our money fell the other day, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's like literally kind of went, oh shit.
And it's only the Fed that's
Thanks, Truss.
bringing in the trillions of pounds that is keeping.
You know
up
you
the
fucked up,
shares.
right? You know you fucked up.
That's keeping it from actual collapse. But I'd say it's about to collapse, to be honest, or already collapsed.
Maybe. I mean, like, they're saying, like, obviously, or he was saying that the US dollar will collapse and gold, silver, and Bitcoin will be considered assets
We consider that now.
Are worth investing money in.
Yeah.
So, that could buy that. That's pretty true.
So
where are we up to?
It's nearly collapsed.
The copies of gold and silver inflated, which after a theft thrown into a lake. So what? So there was actually gold and silver, but like fake gold and silver. These I don't know what he's going on about here, because like obviously. So let me read it again. It considered assets and money worth investing in. Copies of gold and silver, which inflated the economy, which after there was stolen and thrown into a lake, are discovered and exhausted by debt. All scripts and bonds are wiped out. So
there could be a bond wipeout.
Maybe,
soon.
But this is potentially
if the economy collapses.
This is the thing about like these predictions as well. And sorry about that. Got a bit confused, but like going into these, it's like, how can you say this was definitely meant to be this year? Things can maybe tick over, and I feel like we've talked about like time as a construct, right? Is off by a certain amount of years, right? You could argue. Do you know this whole 2012 end of days prophecy, the Mayan prophecy, that's still yet to come, because the actual the actual year calendar, the calendar year is wrong. Off by so many years. So like we're not even reached 2012 yet.
Well, not only that, there was different ways. There were different calendars throughout the generation. So
we go by the Julian calendar now, but that was only put in when, I don't know, not that long ago, really.
19th. I think it was 18th century.
Yeah. So that, I mean, in terms of like how long time's existed, that wasn't that long ago. So you know.
And it was just all to try and fit it in. And
so who knows whether we're actually in this year or another year? Who knows? These predictions could be relating to, maybe they could be months or years out.
Yeah,
because here's one.
One
of the other things he predicted was... Oh, go on. What was you going to say?
Don't forget that also with that Mayan calendar, it just meant we're starting again.
Yeah,
it didn't mean any kind of destruction. Yeah, which is like what apocalypse actually means, which, you know, the reveal. So it revealed something. Right, next generation have got better stuff. Right, we're gonna
age of Aquarius. Hey,
well, we're in the age of technology, aren't we? If you think about it.
Well, let's get on with it anyway, because we are kind of like we've got a lot to get through. But like Putin, would be assassinated in 2022. I can see that.
It was attempted the other week, wasn't it?
Did he attempt it? Apparently he was going to be killed on a stormy night when the wind was in his sails and he was at sea and he'd be struck by lightning. Maybe.
Oh, well, it's hoping, like, you know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, you never know.
But apparently he'd be in a conflict with London and Tuscany.
Well, he did threaten that London would be the first target he'd hit.
Well, he did better not.
It was like, if the West got involved, basically.
Why I order. Nostradamus also predicted a huge hurricane in France in 2022. Well, there was one last year, though.
There was.
And this is what makes me think about, like, is he a bit out with
There's
some
a lot of weather
predictions?
changing kind of things, you know what I mean? So, and how bad, you know what I mean? Could it be like category 5, category 4, you know what
I mean, there's been a lot of kind of powerful storms, and you know, when we kind of, you hear that phrase, since time records began. Yeah, that keeps coming up a lot. It's does. Like, because you go, oh, it's been the worst storm since records began, and it's like, well, when are the records? This is the
19th century.
Yeah, so basically, this is the worst storm we've ever seen
in 100 years,
in ever. Yeah, right. Because who says there was a storm of this magnitude before we started the records?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There was none. There was no such thing. There was nothing.
Well, there was. Just nobody recorded it. So it's like, well, we might have had a storm that powerful, but we couldn't tell you for sure.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is, not since records began, the strongest storm ever. Yeah, right. Yeah. And potentially, if you're going on about climate change being a real thing, then
you've got then
we might get worse. We could actually get worse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It will. It will
Etch-a-sketch-gender the world.
It's like everything. You have a bit of good, a bit of bad. You know what I mean? You have a bit of a mix in between.
Well, France still there as far as I know.
Yeah, but the year ain't out yet.
Right. Well.
So hopefully they won't get bad weather.
They won't get bad weather. I feel like this happened last year. There was a big storm in France last year. Guarantee it.
Didn't we get hit by a couple?
We get hit by a few, but basically,
and they could have gone over and.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the time, can you see? There's a big. We're going to cover it in the news, but there was a big storm going on this week.
Yeah.
In America.
Yeah, there is.
And
Florida,
in Florida, and like again, that was one of those worst storms ever.
Category 5. Yeah.
We usually get a lot of the tail end of these things, like especially when it's snow, when we get the heavy big snow blizzards in New York, we get a bit of that.
Yeah, we do.
Like a couple of days later, not to the extreme, but like it is weird how kind of like you get a bit of the same weather a couple of days later.
Because we're all interconnected.
We are. It's all like Gulf Streams and stuff carrying it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence. He said artificial intelligence will attack the human race. Your personal computer will be able to simulate the brain power of a small village. Computers will with artificial intelligence, will wake up and consider mankind their creators and masters.
Quantum computing.
What?
Quantum computing.
Oh, yeah, it's happened, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've talked about that this year, especially about AI creating its own language, talking to other AI.
Yeah, taking bits of information.
They've had to turn off a lot of quantum computers for these similar reasons. I wouldn't say they've attacked us, but we've had AI robots that have been created that, can literally talk to us. I feel like it's a bit of a weird situation to be in because in terms of AI, again, we were talking about creativity and how people kind of like can, we do things where we find it unique and it's a personal trait, or like if you painted or a musician or you draw or you write music or anything like that, where it's a creative outlet. If AI can do it way better than you, then how is your art worth any money? Yeah, when an AI software can generate it for free and in 20 seconds. Do you know what I mean? It's like almost destroys creativity. And
totally,
we were talking about kind of like in terms of literature and physicality, all these scrolls that come from ancient Greece and books that are hundreds of years old. We store a lot of our archives on the internet now, and if a lot of that goes out, I mean, I'm not saying that all literature will be lost because there's still a lot printed, but
to a
vast majority of kind of opinion and people's kind of like lives on the internet and any blog posts or any text on the internet that's only been published on the internet and not physically will be gone.
Well, look at it. The proof's in the pudding right now, actually. How many people out there have got photos on their
the smart thing for AI to do is destroy all our archives in that respect, so they know what the answers are, but we don't. Because we can't look them up anymore where they just know. It's artificial intelligence.
We've got loads of photos on our computers, our phones, and that. How many of you have actually printed them out? I bet hardly anyone.
That was part of the joy for me when I first started taking.
Once that's gone,
photographer,
it's gone.
It was like going to the photo place and getting your developed photos back was like so satisfying.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you look,
hard copy.
Well, not only that, it was pre kind of digital viewfinder on your camera, so if you took a photo, you didn't know what it was going to look like until you got it developed. There was none of this look at it, delete it if you didn't like it. It was just wait until they were developed. So that was kind of part of the thrill of getting your photos.
Whereas now you can't even tell what's actually true within a photo because it's
all photoshopped, isn't it? This is what I'm saying, and AI is now being implemented into stuff like your cameras and your phones.
Yeah, everywhere now.
Where you can kind of correct all those blemishes and take people out of the background and stuff. So it's not a true
So you're
image.
hiding the truth.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, is that a dangerous tool? so you can kind of prove any. Oh no, I wasn't with that girl last night. Look, there's a picture of me with the boys and nobody else.
Well, look, we all put our trust in the governments who've got that kind of ability. Do you trust them with it now?
No,
well, how would you trust your next door neighbour with it?
Well,
then,
artificial intelligence, yes, I would say that on some extent it has shown signs of Skynet type shit.
Yeah.
Was there an explosion in the Mediterranean Sea?
There was
an earthquake. It was a volcano.
Yeah.
Earlier on, when there was an earthquake, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think there was.
Not an earthquake, a volcano. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that this could have been a nuclear warhead test.
There has been explosions of nuclear.
Well, there's been all over the place, hasn't they?
So it's possibly that it could be that one of them tested. He's just pointing out one of them tests. Maybe
that could be what it is. Well, asteroid. This is the interesting one, and this actually points to late in the year, December 14th, 2022. Actually gives us a date.
Yeah.
So an asteroid shower.
Yeah.
Will destroy the Earth.
We're in an asteroid plane at the minute.
So this is Germani's meteorites on the 14th of December 2022. It will be great fire will fall from the sky for 3 nights. Will cause and appear both stupefyingly and marvelous sight. Shortly afterwards, there will be an earthquake. The quatrain suggests that the asteroid shower will fall on the planet. A big enough rock will fall into the ocean, which will cause tidal waves and engulf land and cause major disruptions. Earthquakes would also cause tsunamis, which will cause untold damage, causing rising seas and waters.
That's when you want to be in Russia.
yeah, pretty much. Like, can we come to you?
Yeah, we want.
I want to be Russian now.
Yeah, that's why they're kicking off.
Well, so I mean, they were only firing that dart thing the other day, trying to deflect meteorites. And I was like, that's a bit of a waste of taxpayers' money. I mean, I understand it's scientific and they want to prove they can do it just in case. Future prosperity and all the rest of it.
Something like 2 months they've got to wait, or 2 years for the data to come in and stuff.
Well, I don't know.
I
mean, this is due to happen mid-December, apparently.
Hey, well,
so, you know.
Well, Christmas is not going to be a nice one, is it?
Right, so we're getting towards the end of what he's saying anyway, that happened this year, because we've got a lot to get on with what's happening next year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So a devastating nuclear bomb will explode.
Oh.
Which will obviously fuck shit up. He says that we won't have a rainbow for 40 years, but afterwards we'll have one for 40 years.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so 8 years of no rainbows but rainbows.
So,
and then the last thing he predicted for this year was 3 days of darkness. In the year 2022 will bring great destruction followed by peace, a period of peace. That's something to look forward to.
There's a lot of volcanoes.
There'll be 72 hours of darkness. This will be around autumn time.
Oh.
So could that be like a nuke or something? I don't know.
I'm thinking
Scary
more like
shit.
volcano because.
Because of the smoke.
Yeah, because you seen the one on Mars. It's gone like right across, but it didn't go, fully all the way across.
Okay.
So it might not be. It might be something to do with the sun. It might be the sun being blocked out at some point for some reason.
Maybe, but like whatever it is, I feel like if it is something like that, then it's going to be one of those things that kind of make us all like a big wake up call. Like we all go, shit.
Yeah.
Let's not do that again. And that's what brings on the peace.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? But there's plenty of things it could be.
It could be, yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you think? What do you think in terms of getting stuff right? I mean, the 3 big ones there have yet to happen. Yeah. Right. Now, obviously, if they all come true, that's fucking a what the fuck moment, really, isn't it? You can't deny it.
I think his books are going to get sold out.
They'll sell out. Yeah. Well, if there's anything left.
Well,
after that.
Someone will be scrambling for one. What's happening next?
So, we're going to go into what is predicted for 2023. Yeah. So you've just heard what we're expecting before Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. Based on Nostradamus' predictions. So 2023. I mean, well, let me first say, what percentage do you think he's got right so far?
I think he's on the
25% on this year.
On this year,
so far. I mean, we're October, 1st of October, 2nd of October, even. He's.
I'd go more to the 40.
40%?
Yeah, to be honest.
Let us know what you guys think at home in terms of, like, you know, for 2022, do you think he's hit any on the nail on the head? Or, I mean, Putin's still alive.
Yeah.
You know, these you know, big incidents that he's said were going to happen, they're kind of leaning towards the autumn, December time of year.
Yeah, they're looking like we're coming to the crucial
This
point.
is why we're doing this episode now.
Yeah.
Because we might not get a chance later, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 2023, it's kind of like not as long a list. It's a weird one because, like, obviously, and a lot of the things he's saying, or a lot of the things that have been reported that he's saying based on people's analysis of these quatrains, right, are saying stuff like World War.
Yeah.
Right? World War, would you say that you felt that was on the cards anyway?
Yeah. To be honest,
I feel like, in the same respect
So
that, you know,
close to
when the Nazis invaded
I
Poland,
think we're in it.
yeah, when the Nazis invaded Poland, there would have been a load of sanctions and a shit like that going, listen, you can't do that. A period of time before they did go in and say, we've had enough, right? We've got to kind of help these guys out. And they didn't have NATO to worry about at that point, right? Now there's more kind of red tape we have to fucking kind of volley through.
And the West is more grouped together, and the East is more.
So we've all got to kind of meet up and go, what do you think? Oh, we can't make independent decisions. And that's why a big part of us wanting to leave Europe, initially, right? Because we want to be able to justify what we want to do as a country and do it,
Why should we let someone that we don't even vote
we are
for?
still part of NATO, so we've got to kind of adhere to the laws there, right? But, I mean, in terms of what's going on now compared to what's going on then, I feel like if we weren't in NATO, we would have maybe got involved a lot sooner. I feel like that NATO should have got involved a lot more in terms of just giving them the stuff.
2014, as soon as he hit Georgia and as soon as he hit fucking Ukraine, they should have stopped it straight away. But they've been a soft touch, basically. They thought he was like one of the good guys, and it's like, we can give him a few sanctions here, but he's going to do is this, and let's get something out of him. But then,
well, no, because this is it. I mean, you've got a couple of angles you can work on here, right? Because you've got the Ukrainian conflict with Russia, but it also could be referring to the conflict between China and Taiwan, which threatens to drag the US in, right? Into pretty much a nuclear war, right? So they're allies with Russia to an extent. I kind of said this months ago about, like, when they invaded the Ukraine. I said everyone needs to watch what China are doing because they're going to take precedent and say, well, they're doing it. Why can't we take our territories back as well at the same time? We already talked about their 5-year plan being brought forward.
Yeah, and there is the 6-year plan. Within 6 years, they will take it over. And there has been rumours at the minute that Xi Jinping has been kept under house arrest under the
You're going to get assassinated regime.
No, that means
you got to stay in your room.
Military will take over, and what do the military like to do most?
Fight.
Yeah, bang.
Right,
and they're one of the biggest armies in the world now.
Big rocks.
They've got the biggest navy in the world.
Well,
so
they're very disciplined, I tell you that much.
Yeah.
This you know, has been seen as a prediction of World War III, a conflict that could be, you know, stem from the Ukrainian war, but also could stem from China, or both.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Even something totally different that we didn't even see on the horizon.
Potentially. The French city of Rue-Bazale appears to escape the Armageddon in the scary predictions, apparently.
Oh, right. So that gets away with it, but everyone else doesn't.
It says it will not fall to the king, wrote Nostradamus.
Well, they actually state as well there's going to be a new pope.
A new pope,
the pope now wants to retire.
Yeah, apparently, he said that.
Apparently, he gets assassinated in Italy. The next pope comes in, the 112th pope, and goes to France.
Yeah, but according to Nostradamus, Pope Francis will be the last true pope.
Yeah, but also under Nostradamus, he should be a black pope as well. The last pope is going to be a black pope.
Well, I don't know about that, but I heard that it was going to say that the next pope would takes Francis's place would create a big scandal.
Yeah, because he has to move from Rome to France because Islamic fighters basically take the chance against the West, is what it calls.
Yeah.
So he has to leave.
we were talking about a pope last week, wasn't he? The devil pope. The guy who that was scandalous.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew we couldn't handle this.
Oh, yeah. Well, they shouldn't keep so many secrets.
Popes.
If we knew all the truth, then,
Right, well, you were talking about, like, the Mars landings earlier. Apparently, this is another prediction from Nostradamus. He says, looking out into the galaxy, the French mystic theorized and predicted the landing on Mars. He said there's words could be explained as a planet appearing to move backwards in the sky. And he says that obviously humanity could be on the verge of a major breakthrough when it comes to colonizing the red planet. Elon Musk has made no secret about him trying to get up there, as we discussed earlier, and suggests humans will land on by 2029. So maybe the billionaire has something up his sleeve for 2023.
But some
this is from an article.
Dangerous is supposed to happen next year on the actual planet itself, which may scupper on us actually.
You got scuppered, son.
Landing on there. There's the light is dimming out on Mars, basically.
Well, isn't it because, like, it kind of it's like with the moon, right? Where no, it isn't Mars. It is Mars, where the kind of there is a point in our year or every so often there's a cycle where Mars is closer to us, right, and it moves away from us. Which means, isn't it not them moving away from the sun, or does it always just stay in the same orbit? How do you mean it's getting darker?
Well, this is his prediction that the light is running out on Mars itself. There's something like
the shadow monsters are soaking up all the light.
Well, whatever
and Elon Musk's
going to stop
plans are going to be scuppered.
It's going to stop us from getting going there faster than we want to. So it's going to make us take a lot longer to actually be able to get there.
I've got a story coming up in the news that might change all that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later on because it is quite interesting and actually might accelerate Elon Musk's plans.
Oh.
So we could actually have something in the pipeline for 2023. Let's see. We'll have a look into it in the news. So make sure you stick around for the news later on. So the celestial fire.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a claim or a prophecy from the Frenchman that predicts the celestial fire on the royal edifice. Right? Yeah. What's an edifice?
No idea.
I got a fire in my orifice and it burns.
Oh, that's that curry you had last night.
I'd say you best get to the doctors.
Yeah.
The prediction's been interpreted as from the ashes of civilization, a new world order will emerge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, new world order starts.
The woo woo order. The woo wah woo wahs. Yeah, people believe that it could refer to the end of times or start of the new world order.
But there's also a civil war that supposedly starts in America. Yeah. And at the same time, Russia.
So we're back to the 80s. Again, we're back in the 80s. Rick Astley's in the charts.
Yeah.
I never want to give you up.
Well, we know there's a split.
And the band New World Order.
Yeah. And, like, we know we're at war with Russia at the minute as well. So it's a case of, like, that's a strong prediction, for the timing.
Well, the New World Order indicates Nostradamus is actually talking about a new alliance of two great powers coming together.
China and Russia.
Well, are they going to be the New World Order?
Well, China's going to be the biggest one.
It's not the New World Order we were all thinking about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a New World Order is a New World Order. We had a New World Order when we came out of quarantine or when we got locked down. That was a New World Order.
That's true.
Well, it was a new.
They all agreed.
They all just renamed it the New Normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a New World Order, wasn't it?
We
got reshuffled. We got shuffled in the pack, mate.
It will be the World Economic Forum, I bet you.
Well, the thing is, you were talking about this and how Charles was on the World Economic Forum, but as king, you've got to give that type of shit up. You can't be
Yeah.
biased in any respect like that. You got to be kingly and have no opinion.
I fear that he's going to be biased on that, though,
Yeah.
because a lot of leaders around the world have been a part of the Economic Forum for a long time, and it's the case that this is why we're having more major problems. You know what I mean? With like, you got to stop this. You got to do this, and like there's 19 senators who have put in to have them in BlackRock investigated because the World Economic told them to actually try and stop meat and stop more farming, less farming and stuff like
Pure
that.
oat milk everywhere.
Yeah, basically.
Fuck oat milk. I'm sorry, right.
Drinks more water than
I'm
anything.
not being funny, right? Yeah, you do you.
It tastes like
If you like porridge flavoured coffee, then you happy days, yeah, right?
No,
Almond
fuck that.
milk's all right, but I'm a realist. I mean, I like moo milk.
I like moo milk.
I like me moo
Always
milk
like
in my
moo
coffee,
milk,
right? Yeah. Or don't like oat milkshakes.
Yeah.
That sounds. Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
No,
yeah.
no.
Do you though? Do you know what I mean? If you're into soy, if you've got a digestive problem that you need soy milk, whatever. Yeah. But don't make me feel like I'm a bad guy for drinking milk in my coffee.
Exactly.
You do you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As long as
Happy
it
days.
ain't baby milk.
Bitter.
Yeah, it's a bit bitter.
Well, in his writings, he also said that this alliance of, this new world order will be between a strong man and a weak one.
Who's strong?
It could be a man or a woman.
Well, who's weak at the minute? Biden. He's fucking
Maybe
on his knees.
yeah.
near
And we've
enough.
got Truss, who's supposedly like the most right-wing conservative
Yeah,
ever
she's just off a
since
fucking rocker.
Thatcher. Yeah. She's apparently. So I mean, I don't know if anyone watches Jonathan Pye. Yeah, but I do recommend checking him out. He's a satirical comedian.
Yeah.
But his recent video on YouTube, he refers to Truss as a fucking what is it? A fundamentalist conservative. Who's a born again fundamentalist conservative who's pretty dangerous. You know what I mean? I think like that's pretty much sums her up.
yeah.
You know what it's like when you join a group and you're all excited and like, kind of eager. Yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of the conservatives who've been in it for years are kind of like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, right. Not do a very good job. But like, she's like, not like I'm saying she's going to do a good job. I just feel like she might kind of be a bit too eager. She's already fucked up the economy. She's only done it a week.
Well, that was another prediction that our economy will be will end.
Congratulations.
The world economy will end. And Biden.
Best withdraw out all my pennies then, eh?
Well, yeah.
No,
Oh,
don't.
definitely.
I won't say that. There'll be fucking queues around the banks. There's no reason why you need to draw
Do it
out your
first
money.
and then say it.
Yeah, do it first. Yeah.
US President Biden will suffer a disease.
Oh, right.
But he has suffered with COVID twice.
Has he?
Yeah.
You know what? I think a couple of the world leaders have actually.
And I think, he has been off his rocker for quite a while. You know what I mean? And even his own doctor, the president's doctor, is asked to have a medical, and he hasn't had the medical. They all writ together.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of like nothing being said about like the energy crisis. I mean, these longer term like predictions where these predictions look between like the next 10 years, and these kind of stuff that says like with the current energy problems, mankind will solve this gradually.
Yeah.
And says between 2020 and 2030, the world will discover a new, clean, safe source of energy.
Good. We need it.
So that's a positive, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is a positive. Apparently, an important man died in 2020.
Well, that's not really relevant, is it? That's 3 years
right.
ago. Go on. Why did he?
That's
Why?
right.
What was so
I don't know,
important?
and I don't know who the important man, but can you remember of any important man in 2020 that died?
Not that I can think of.
It was on.
There's a few people who died, but I can't honestly pick out just one and say that guy was the guy.
Yeah. There's nothing else to it apart from that, and it's interesting to try and work out who they may mean.
Well, economy-wise, they reckon that by 2023, expect a serious rise after a long decline. A number of laws will be adopted that will be able to reform the existing system and promote economic growth. As a result of the reform, some sectors will basically develop. Yeah.
Yeah, and somewhere have to go, won't they?
I don't know where that is, though. I mean, that could be anywhere. That could just mean, like, you know, in a different country to ours. It might not necessarily apply.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, who knows? This is the problem with Nostradamus. It's very kind of like...
hit and miss.
Hit and miss.
Yeah.
And basically what you get from it is, you know, what you get from it. I don't feel like you can say it's bang on the money, regardless of how many natural disasters or, you know, big events that people claim that he predicted. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't
and
do it,
in Old French
but
as
like
well.
I say, based on the previous years, it's not 100% accurate.
No.
I'd not even say it was 50% accurate majority of the time. So, you know.
Nah, I've got to go with about 35, 40.
Yeah, I mean, it's still impressive.
Yeah.
You know, going back to this year.
New king?
Yeah,
New king,
I mean,
he
did predict the new king. He actually said earlier he predicted the Queen's death being in the 22nd year of the century and her age being 96.
Yeah,
which is quite interesting.
It was interesting to find out as well that the royals will be royal here for 1,000 years.
Wow. Well, they're still, well, they are, aren't they? They've not really gone anywhere.
No.
Like, and we've all kind of said that.
Yeah.
In terms of the Queen, she's been here since anybody can remember, and it's always going to be like that, I think.
Yeah, I think that was that just throws another change in there.
Yeah, but overall, I'd say, like, you know, Nostradamus's predictions are pretty vague. They can interpret meaning and, you know, virtually on anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're quite interesting.
And the years are as well. Like, the years are not necessarily, well, most of the time, they're not correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're totally out of kilter.
But like I say, I mean, they're saying, like, you know, this celestial fire is going to bring on the New World Order. We're going to have a meteorite that destroys existence, but that doesn't just mean, like, it's going to destroy us all, we're all going to die. It means it's going to destroy our way of life.
Yeah.
From the ashes, this New World Order will arise and try and sort everything out. Do you know what I mean?
Thinking now,
I'm not sure.
I'm thinking now more of the sun. Because the sun it's in its time for like throwing out CMAs and like stuff like that, you know, throwing energy, and it's actually corrupting our energy around the Earth.
Again, talking about how the years can be thrown out, again, this also predicting the 40 years, the rainbow will not be seen, and 40 years it will be seen every day. The dry earth will grow more barren, and there will be great floods.
It has to be massive fires, or it'd have to be something else.
So basically, based on what he predicted for last year and this year, we're on the fucking edge right now, aren't we? So he's saying that shit's going to go down in the next, say, 6 to 8 weeks, right? Yeah. Right? Anything that goes on in the 6 to 8 weeks will tick over into 2023 when crumbled of society and out of the ashes this New World Order will come and fix everything. Yeah, that's what... We're literally there now. We're on this fucking edge of this shit, yeah? If we're going to prove if this is true, by the 14th of December. Yeah, right? If this is... If we're still here, or if any of this is true, we'll know. Because if there's no meteor showers, none of this actually happens, then it's all kind of like, well, there's another one of Nostradamus's... Not necessarily Nostradamus's, but there's another reading of one of Nostradamus's poems, or several of them, that have been wildly misinterpreted.
Yeah, but then it also, with the 40 days, 40 nights, with 40 years...
That's biblical.
Yeah, but that could possibly mean what you were on about before, when you was on about a nuclear bomb goes off and it killed us.
That's more
a little bit. That the actual moon is in the way of the sun for like 40 years.
Potentially.
You know what I mean? But then there will have 40 years without it, which it will mess things up.
I mean, global warming, is that going to be an effect if we are struck by a meteorite? I mean, how long does the DART program actually take to get in operation if they see some... You see, this is it, that DART program.
Yeah.
You know how fucking karma works. Everything's fucking connected in one way or another.
Yeah.
We knock an asteroid out of the way to test it works. Somewhere down the road, that it's a different asteroid changing the direction of that, and then that hits us, and it was a worse asteroid.
Well, yeah,
do you know what I
this
mean?
is the thing.
Do you not think about these things playing God?
I know. Well, this is it. Well, play God without not caring about the consequences.
Care about shit.
Yeah, which we're the consequences.
Yeah.
At the end
well,
of it.
apparently, there's going to be a lot going on. If you've got
There
any
is.
comments or queries about tonight's episode, you can get in touch.
Issues.
Got any issues? I've got a few. Yeah, to be honest. But if you want to get in touch and talk about it, you can do it at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com or go to the website neverstraightanswer.co.uk.
Oh, yeah.
You can hit us up on Twitter, NASA_never, or Instagram at neverstraightanswer.
Do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think? Are we all doomed?
It sounded like it, innit? It's not like it.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news on my birthday. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah.
Don't like to bring the...
It's prediction, isn't it? Supposed predictions. But,
This is
like,
what
it's all
when-
French as well, don't forget, and sometimes
This
it can
is
get
what I'm talking
misinterpreted,
about. You've got so many ways this can be misinterpreted, right? So
Yeah.
we don't want to cause panic. We don't want people to be going out there, getting the bug out bags and going hiding in the woods.
If anything, live your life more now.
Yeah.
Because just in case anything...
Do you know what? Yeah, for the next 2 weeks, live your life as if it's your last, yeah? And then if it doesn't all happen, then
Carry on living
doing
it.
it. That's some
Exactly.
solid advice. Well done. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to take that advice as well, you know.
Good boy, yeah.
Nice one. Thank you for that, Taylor.
Yeah, that's all right. Call me God.
Right, well, we've still got stuff coming up and some stories that I think you're going to want to stick around for. That's coming up very shortly.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to think about the potential could be World War III next year, but like I said earlier on in the show,
Next
it
fucking
kind
month.
of all seems to be gearing up that way. I mean, it's like when you hear the predictions, it's like, oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, we see it on the news.
Yeah.
Nostradamus say that. That's weird.
But we
How
said it a
weird's that?
couple of years ago, didn't we? That there was the feeling that there was something just not right, and it was about to kick off somewhere.
You can actually
it's
go
just-
back and listen. We've got a playlist on YouTube of all our Nostradamus episodes. I think there's like 3 or 4 now.
Yeah,
There'll be 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
going back to 2020, from 2020 onwards, if you want to listen to the predictions and prophecies of Nostradamus,
Then go ahead.
there will be a lot of repeating content there though, because like we obviously go back and say what he said.
But
last
there'll be
year.
also some glimmers
Oh
of
yeah, because
diamonds.
because like I say, in the first instance when we look back, so like today we've looked back on what he said last year.
Yeah.
When we first looked at that was all prospective things that could happen. It was all kind of like, oh, could these things happen? Now we're looking back at them. We're not speculating anymore. We can kind of like look
say
back.
if it
so
did
we do
happen or
maybe
not.
have different viewpoints on it. So it is
Yeah, that's
worth
right.
doing.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go back and look at those, we do have a playlist on YouTube as well as on the website, I should imagine.
And our
if not,
viewpoints
I'll
could
put one
change
up.
as well.
Yeah. Opinions may change,
Yeah,
subject
they
to
may.
change.
Oh, yeah. You can always change your opinion.
Only from participating podcasters. But yeah, we do have some stuff coming up. We've got the news.
We do.
I think we should go on with the news
Let's
now.
go for it.
Because we have some nice stories that we're linking up to what we've been talking about tonight. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado, it's the news! And as always, we've looked from Russia with love to Jamaica with joint and everywhere in between to find the best news, the world news, everything that's going on in it. And usually,
Yeah,
there's
there's a
some
lot going
crazy
on.
happenings.
Fucking
We're going to
right.
look into it. Talking about the rapture, my
Yeah.
first story. Some Christians actually have rapture anxiety.
Fucking hell. Well, you know what? There's a lot of anxiety.
Is it going to
in
happen today? Is it going to happen today? No. Go to bed. It's like waiting for Christmas. It's like waiting for Santa. It's like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
actually
you should
knew
really
I
wait
knew
for
a
it,
lady
though.
who was like that. She actually believed in the rapture. She believed that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Jesus was going to come down on his horse, the 4 horsemen, all these types of things, you know. And I'd have a great, interesting conversations.
Yeah.
And although kind of it was interesting, it's kind of bizarre. It's kind of
Stops you in your
it's
place.
paranormal.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not a believer. I'm agnostic in that way. And if that happens, then hallelujah,
Yeah.
right?
Fair-
Yeah,
yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
But
Is
knowing
what
what
it
we
is.
know now, based on like conspiracies we've read up on Project
Yeah.
Bluebeam, stuff like that,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be a bit skeptical. I'd be like, seeing isn't always believing these days.
That's true, that's true.
So you and then it's like you try and get Jesus or God to prove that they are who they are, and they don't like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit,
yeah.
get smited for less.
Yeah, we follow the laws because of a god.
Well, apparently,
and a pope as well.
take a lifetime to heal this rapture anxiety. Apparently, this is what the this news article's saying.
Should be doing that.
You know what I mean?
Should be looking forward.
Like we've said earlier, just embrace the day, man. Yeah, live life like it's your last, and if it's not, it's all cherry.
Yeah, that's true. It's all true.
There you go. So have you got a news story for us?
This pipeline that's gone off. 4 explosions.
Ding, ding, ding,
from
ding,
Russia,
ding, ding,
from
ding,
Russia
ding,
with love,
ding,
like you were
ding,
saying.
ding, ding, ding. This is some Mission Impossible shit.
Yeah,
when people were sticking like dynamite or like explosives to this pipeline.
Yeah.
I feel like this had happened a while ago.
Well, it was interesting that 2015.
2015.
Sweden found a drone with explosives around it, but we still never found out who sent it there, and it does look governmental. There is all indications that it's not a private enterprise or anything like that. But it's interesting who exploded these 4 drones to break the pipeline. Was it Russia?
Knows?
Was it America? This
is why I thought drones were like, banned. Not banned, but like, you needed permits and stuff. You needed like, controller, I'm about to take off my drone. Can I have airspace permission, please?
Yeah, but
like,
these
no,
military, and don't forget, the area
you
that
got
they
explosives all over your drone, sir.
The area they did it in is NATO's area. Russians, and they've been doing war games as well, not that long ago. Including
That's
drone
what they always
wars.
blame it on. They always blame it on war games. We were just doing a few kind of war games in the area and soz, but it got a bit heated or shit.
Yeah, but they've been away from there for a little time now, and in the areas of where the pipes were detonated.
So what would they gain from blowing up these pipelines?
War, money,
all the usual
get rid
stuff.
Get rid of all the old stock, bring in new stock. You know what I mean? That war always makes money for
it's true, actually,
countries,
doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's never been, like I said before, apart from 2008,
do you reckon if there is a third world war, they'd allow us to do this for morale? You know what I mean? For like the troops abroad.
Yeah, we might have to perk it up a bit and like, and
we'll have to get a TV show with like one of those old school TV shows like
if
Bernard
they
Manning Club.
They're willing to pay the cash.
I'd be like, I'd rather do that. I mean, I've got a story here. Yeah. I mean, are you finished with that one?
Yeah.
Because I found this story. This is about a Russian guy, right? Who basically to get out of fighting in Russia. Yeah, because he was being conscripted.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Russian man broke both his arms and legs.
Fucking hell.
To avoid being sent to the Ukraine. I mean, this just goes to show you how kind of the lengths of fucking what people are going to go to not to go to war.
Yeah.
I mean, during World War II, when the UK was kind of being conscripted, it was like, if you didn't go, you were a coward and you get sent to prison for being like a yellow belly.
Yeah, you got the white feather.
Well, you get tickled with the white feather.
No, you just put a white feather in your cap, and then everyone would know you weren't willing to fight for the country. Or
you were a coward. Yeah. So I mean, the fact that they've got to this point now where I was reading a story about them actually sending, convicts.
Yeah.
Basically saying. You can go to war for us if you come back alive.
6 months,
6 months, then you're a free man.
Yeah.
And I mean, once you've emptied all your prisons, where do you turn next? The public, and the public don't want to fight this war. So.
Oh well, that's true. Well, some do, some don't.
I mean, this is perfect evidence of it, obviously, isn't it? When you've got people actually causing themselves physical harm. I mean, the video was shared on social media. Showing a friend attempting to break his arms of a Russian relative with a sledgehammer.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Shot in a dimly lit room. The video shows a topless guy holding his arm out over a bench. A friend pulls a sledgehammer out, holds it over his head, and slams it down on the man's arm. Jeez. Then covers his eyes and returns with another shot.
So
I mean, like I say, it's not.
That could be, injuries for life.
Well, of course, I mean, what is it worse than dying on a battlefield? This is what going through people's minds. If you're being told, based on history, history has shown us that war creates bodies,
and
right?
Russians,
and people
lost
ain't
a lot
coming
of
back,
people.
from the front line. They're going out there and not coming back.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a man with kind of crazy arms because you broke them for the rest of your life, or would you like to go and get killed? Do you know what I mean? Your options are those, and it's like, well, I'd rather do that, please. Break my legs.
Going.
Well, it depends. It depends again, because you might go in, but what exactly are you fighting for? You're fighting because you've been told by your government that you need to go and fight for your country.
No,
right?
I'm fighting for my country by myself.
Yeah, but you're
my own.
What? So you're going in as a soldier of fortune? No, you're not. You're still fighting Ukrainians because you're told to.
Yeah.
Right. So no, forget it. You are being told to go to Ukraine and fight Ukrainians because you've been told by your government. You didn't choose to, and if you chose to, then you're just part of the problem. But basically, if you are an innocent person trying to get on with a life, and you've been told you've got to fight in a war that it's got nothing to do with you, or your policies, or your way of life, or your outlook on things, or even your personal political opinions, then you got no business being in that war. I don't want to go to war for some other dickhead. Go and fight it out in a ring between you.
But if we'd done that in the past, we'd be talking German now. If we have done that in the past,
but that's a different situation. Do you know what I mean?
No, because he did exactly the same. He took over a full country. He hasn't actually taken. Russia hasn't taken a full country yet, but they're willing to.
Well, what I'm saying is, I mean, at the end of the day, we've just said there was people in World War II who did get the feather in the cap treatment, and whatever they got, it was rather because they were pacifists, they didn't believe in violence, or they had an alternative political opinion, to the establishment, or they just didn't want to fight, for either side, do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's just going to be the case everywhere you go. I don't feel like it's like, just because, we would have been speaking German, because we still had a strong enough force of people who wanted to go and protect the country.
But if it turns out...
But what I'm getting at is the Russian, they're being rather brainwashed by the media over there that this war is all our fault.
Yeah.
Or that they need to go and fight the Nazis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of them will be going, I'm going out there, I'm going to do my part. Whereas people who are actually listening to what's going on in the world, are like, wait a minute, no, I don't get involved in this. I just want to not be involved. Then.
Well,
this
sometimes
is the
you'd be
extreme
able
lengths
to do
that they'd go to not be in this war. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. But it depends how far back and how much you need. I mean, if like we had the home guard, you know what I mean? If that's
protecting your land, man. It's like, I mean, I don't agree with anybody invading anybody's territories. Yeah. Come when you're invited, or travel to see the scenery, by all means, but don't come invading.
Well, then you've got an alternative. You either fight on your land or fight the aggressors on someone else's land.
Not fight at all and try and work it out in a civil manner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
this
we've got people who don't
want
want
that. It's an unjust war.
Yeah.
It's an illegal war.
Yeah.
The things Putin are doing in terms of pulling this whole referendum coup
bullshit,
to try and make it out as if like the people of Ukraine want to be liberated. Yeah. Now this is fully Russia, is ridiculous. There's nobody interested in winning this war apart from Putin. Yeah. And I'm seriously thinking he's got mental health issues. Do you know what I mean? Like, for the things he's doing, he's killing his own people as well as Ukrainians. And who's next? Who knows? Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's it leans into what we're talking about tonight. It's like it's only seems to be progressing in a negative way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. Needs to switch and change, man.
So anyway, it does need to switch and change, and that's a perfect opportunity for you to tell us what your next news story is.
Oh, well, my next story is the sad death of Coolio, a rapper, at 59.
I will say Coolio is now living in a gangster's paradise.
He certainly is.
And he was a big influence, do you know what I mean? Not only the movie Dangerous Minds was like, one of those movies that was, it was like kind of really different for the type of movies we were seeing. It was quite influential.
Yeah, totally.
The song Gangster's Paradise, actually one of the biggest rap songs
in the 90s, and now.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, Coolio was known for being the rapper. I mean, I kind of remember all the lyrics to Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
It is an absolute classic.
It's one of them,
and even if you've not checked it out, Weird Al Yankovic's Amish Paradise is parody on the classic.
Yeah.
It's a great tune. Check it
that.
out. I mean, the guy was a legend. I mean, not only did he do that, he did Big Brother here in the UK.
Yeah,
which he was a superstar.
Yeah.
And then went on to doing Cooking with Coolio, his YouTube channel. So you know what I mean? He was a man of many talents.
Man of different talents, definitely. Yeah.
The guy will be missed. He was 59, wasn't he? I mean,
sadly
still quite
found on
young.
his friend's floor.
What was actually the thing that
they still haven't
released that information?
No,
oh, that is a shame. I mean, say Coolio.
Yeah, man.
R.I.P. mate. You will be missed.
Yeah, you will be. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Great
well,
rapper.
I will be listening to a bit of Coolio. I feel like there's more tunes to be had by Coolio because I mean, thinking about
we heard it when we come.
Gangster's Paradise?
No, but one of Coolio songs.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah,
you see, that's I
I
didn't hear it. I didn't recognise it as Coolio. I feel like there's more Coolio
when
tracks
we get
to
there,
be listened
I think
to.
It was.
Yeah, when you know on the old Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Than just Gangster's Paradise. Everyone knows Gangster's
loads.
Paradise, but I bet there's loads of tunes on there.
He's got enough tunes out there, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Definitely.
I've got a story here about a Michigan man who pleaded guilty for murder and eating part of a man. Guess what he was called?
No idea.
Kevin Bacon.
Oh,
not the
Kevin Bacon.
It's a pretty common name, to be fair.
Well, yeah.
He's a Michigan man who's pleaded guilty for murdering and eating part of a man named Kevin Bacon on December 2019. Mark Davis Lazinski, 52, pleaded guilty for killing and disassembling Kevin Bacon.
I want to know, does it taste like chicken?
No, it probably tastes like bacon, doesn't it? Lewinsky appeared before 35th Circuit Court on Thursday and pleaded guilty to open murder and manipulation of a body, according to mlive.com. Open murder is made up of the first, second-degree murder charges, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's both. By killing him and then eating him, it's like, what?
Dirty fucker.
Mate. I wonder what if he said, police said Bacon was found naked, hanging out upside down from the ceiling in the house, according to the court records. So, Lewinsky alleged, admitted to the police that he'd stabbed Bacon, slit his throat, and then hung him from a rope. According to the court records obtained by WJBK, he also allegedly told police that he cut off parts of Bacon to eat it.
No,
I feel like stop saying
that.
it like Bacon. Can you just say Kevin?
Yeah, it's not
Do you know
Bacon.
what I mean? It's like,
Bacon's
I'm just making me hungry. I'm just thinking like that sounds like he's making a delicious sandwich.
Bacon one.
A bacon sandwich,
nice.
Bacon. Yeah. I mean, cannibalism. I did actually read something in the Nostradamus stuff when I was doing the research that said that people would start eating people.
What happened in Russia in the war?
It didn't actually. It was like shortage of food. It's like that body. It's like those cartoons where it's like the guy's on the boat and there's lost at sea, and then he looks at the guy and he turns into a chicken leg or a hamburger or something.
That's it.
And he's like, I'm gonna eat that guy.
Yeah. Get some gravy.
You've eaten my leg. What's that off? It was like there was something where I can't remember what film it was or a series, but he ends up in a boat and he eats someone's leg, but he makes him think that his leg's still there and he doesn't feel the pain.
Oh, no,
but then eats the leg. I can't remember what it was, but something daft I watched. So what would you eat? Would you eat a man named Bacon?
Yeah, if I was hungry enough.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
if I'm starving and you handed it me on a plate.
I feel like we've got an interesting show coming up next week. We do actually have an interesting show coming up next week, and it kind of does lend into this. Yeah,
bacon.
Would you survive? Eat a person?
Yeah.
Well,
no doubt.
if
I don't even have to think about it.
Make sure you tune in next week because we'll find out what happens in next week's
bacon.
episode. No, it wasn't with
especially
bacon.
Especially if it tastes like bacon.
It wasn't a bacon. It was a doner.
It was a doner?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
There you go.
No, I don't like doner. I want bacon.
We'll get into that. Any other news stories? I've got this one with a porch pirate.
What? Say that again.
A porch pirate.
Oh, right.
People the horrible people who steal parcels off your doorstep.
Oh, dickheads.
It's like with eye patches. Coming in with like a parrot on the shoulder, stealing your parcel,
peg
going,
leg,
and then running off with the Amazon.
Yeah, getting back in the boat and fucking
running into the Amazon. Yeah, these people, you know, there's a lot of people who are trying to get their own back on porch pirates.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos.
There's a YouTube guy who makes a device that shoots glitter and poo smells and all sorts of crazy stuff at him. Yeah. I find that really good. He's kind of in like the third or fourth, you know, like iteration of this box.
I think worse. I think someone should do something.
It's got an alarm. It's got cameras in it. The Bluetooth the video back to, or you know, Wi-Fi the footage back to them and everything. So, and they do retrieve them sometimes. But this is a couple who've been battling a porch pirate. When they put their baby's old diapers, nappies, in a box and let them steal it. But the porch pirates responded by sending them a load of manure.
Oh shit!
I hate manure. And putting it in a parcel and sending it to them. So a neighborhood in Austin, Texas, has been dealing with a porch pirate epidemic. People have been stealing delivery packages right off the doorstep, and a couple decided to try and strike back and get their own back on him by sticking dirty diapers in the thieves' box. Yeah, imagine the stink. Not happy about the prank, they decided to retaliate, sending the dirty diapers back plus a load of manure.
Okay, now
I mean, what would you do?
Man.
A shit war, exactly. I mean, what would you do, like in retaliation to? I mean, if someone was pissing you off, like in that way, or like you were living with somebody who was doing something in the house that was pissing you off.
Well, I'd have to find out who the fuck they are first.
Would you retaliate, or would you just kind of like secretly hate them and just?
It depends.
And let it stew and
if it starts irritating me, then yeah, why not?
I mean, you're paying for stuff in this instance. They're buying stuff. It could be like the thing is about Amazon. You could be ordering elastic bands. Do you know what I mean? So this package might look alluring and really, ooh, I'm gonna steal that package.
Yeah.
And I mean, I needed those elastic bands, for a project I was working on. I mean, it was a couple of quid, but I had to pay postage, so I'm looking at a fucking £3-4 for elastic bands. And you've just stole them. You open it, realise it's elastic bands, and go, oh, it's elastic bands. Probably throw them away. Yeah, you didn't need them. I kind of did.
Yeah.
Why don't you just throw them back on my doorstep and let me fucking use what I ordered? Yeah, if it was no good to you.
I know
people aren't like that.
I know the answer to this. I don't think it's going to happen, but I know the answer to this. Do you know what it is?
It's not always a pricey item being delivered. Most of the time, it's not a pricey item.
But I know how to stop this.
Go on.
Police doing the fucking job.
Haha, yes, that would work, wouldn't it?
That would work if we had some fucking police around to do
I've said this, but then like I thought about it because you've said about police being on the beat and all the rest of it. But I'm not sure if that's...
They've been told off, haven't they?
You know, I'd rather the police stay where they are.
Well,
I wouldn't want them hassling me all the time.
British police have been told off now to...
just leave me alone. I'm just trying to walk down the street.
Actually do more arrests because there's that much crime going on and not enough arrests going on. And like 5% of criminals...
That just means they'll go and arrest anyone.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem about it.
About probable.
But that's all right. So
you can arrest these guys. Shipment of baby wipes, it turned out to be $11.8 million worth of cocaine.
Fucking hell.
In baby wipes, what if they got sold as baby wipes and the baby got high or tripping balls?
Well, yeah, didn't something happen like that with baby powder a couple of years ago?
Fucking having an ecstasy trip.
Yeah, there was baby powder and they were buying it from one shop because obviously they've either stole it or they've been giving it from dodgy
They've got it from the black market. And someone's gone, I've got a load of baby powder here.
Yeah, and putting it on the shelf, and people through the homes were going, what the fuck's this shit? You know what I mean? And then it was like, obviously one of them called up the police and went, yeah, baby powder's being sold here and it's full of this.
Well, this is a similar thing because like it was 150 pounds of cocaine was hidden in a place where you'd least expect it in a shipment of baby wipes. The narcotics were seized on Friday. And, they were seized on the US-Mexican border.
And now parents are screaming out, I need nappies.
It's like, well, I mean, baby wipes. How do you do that? I mean, it's like, do you just sprinkle it on the baby wipe?
It'd be in the material.
Is it in the material or is it in the solution that they soak it in? Because baby wipes are wet.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're going
There must
to get
be a
it back
process
over. You're
get
going to
it
have
out
to
again.
wring it out.
Wring it out.
Yeah, wring it out and then dry it.
Hey, go and wring out all of those baby wipes.
Yeah. You liquefy. You
Essay.
put it in like liquid form and put it over stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a drug baron. You know
It was
what I
a
mean?
drug dog that made the discovery.
Yeah.
It went, oh, I.
I see.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I'm baby wipes.
I-
Yeah, I'm fucking taking the piss.
Yeah.
I've seen these before.
Yeah.
Well, they had them away. There was 1,935 packages of cocaine, totaling £1,532.
Was that it? Oh, I thought it would be
Pounds? That's a lot.
Yeah, but I thought millions.
Well, it's covered in a big trestle table, and that's a lot.
Well, yeah.
Well, anyway.
That's right. Anything to get it over the border.
They will, yeah. I mean, anything. And it's like, they'll probably be like, this will be the one that works.
Yeah. And then it'll work for a couple of years, and then it'll be like, oh, you've just been caught.
I mean, these people who get these, I mean, obviously they're looking for a payout.
Yeah.
This is a story about a motor lodge receptionist. Yeah.
All right.
Who was awarded 21K.
All right.
Yeah. After being yelled at.
Huh?
Yeah, by a boss. And all she did
right.
was bought a pumpkin.
A pumpkin.
Yeah. Now, I thought it might have been something to do with the fact that it's Halloween coming up. I know you did.
Yeah.
But no, it was basically like Michelle Smith was working as a receptionist at a motor lodge when she basically got dismissed for buying a pumpkin. Yeah. She bought the pumpkin because she had a school party of school children coming in, and it was a special menu, and she needed it for that.
Yeah.
The boss or owner came in and berated her in front of all the staff, customers, and everyone, and basically told her they recommend that she quits. Yeah.
Fucking dodgy.
Because it wasn't a normal breakfast item, yeah, or not on any normal menu.
Chocolate
right?
isn't a breakfast item, but it fucking gets served up.
But the fact was, she felt like she was unfairly dismissed.
I think so.
But now she, do apologise, I'm getting hiccups. But she was awarded $21,000 because of it. I mean, It's like she was unfairly dismissed. But 6 months later, the owner of the motel,
lost his money.
Lost his money because she's been working there for getting on like a year, and
Not bad. We won't get away. We won't be able to do that over here.
What do you mean?
You've got to be working for 2 years before you get any fucking right.
Oh no, that's a redundancy, isn't it? I feel like, in terms of like, they wouldn't pay you out on a redundancy over here unless you've worked in a job for a certain period of time. But if you feel like you were forced out of a role forced to quit because of something you didn't do, or because of an opinion of a boss, or just because they had a bad day and felt like they could kick downwards,
but over it's harder
it's
to
like,
fight.
No, that's it's small claims over here. It's unfair dismissal.
Yeah.
And we'd go to a small claims or a employment tribunal.
Yeah.
In that instance, but in America, it's a
court
procedure, and
I'm
gonna get my lawyer.
Should imagine.
Maybe. Who knows? But I feel like somebody, the system does work in people's favour sometimes.
Yes,
and
it
not,
does.
Not
Sometimes.
losing your temper and becoming one of these Karens you see on the internet.
Oh,
yeah.
Calm,
and just being calm and collected and dealing with it. Yeah. Then gets you a positive result.
It does.
Well done, that woman. Yes. Anything else you'd like to discuss?
Peak District round here. There's a warning for a big cat.
Big cats?
Yeah, some teenagers have taken a photo of a big cat.
It goes back to the
field.
pussy documentaries I've been watching.
Yeah. You've been letting cats out?
Oh, no, just wild. Well, I've got a cat, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wild
cat. Yeah, it was
She's
black.
a wild cat.
Yeah, it was black cat.
Well, they say, we've got big cats in the UK, and we've talked about the Beast of Bodmin and other big cats.
But it's literally around here where we are.
Oh, really?
Right,
so it could be like on your doorstep?
Yeah.
I remember one day when we'd finished recording and we were travelling back to you were dropping me off, and that deer jumped out into the middle of the road, but it was like a baby deer, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, so we kind of slowed down, trying not to avoid hitting it.
Take its
and
time.
it just like kind of verted across the road into a council estate.
I know.
And I was like, wow, someone's going to have a pleasant surprise in the morning when they find this deer in the garden grazing.
Well, that'd be,
So, in terms of wildlife,
I've seen a lot more over the last year.
I believe that in the 80s, right, there was exotic pets.
Yes.
Yeah. Here in the UK, you could buy a lot more exotic pets. I remember one of my aunties having a monkey,
My brother had a
people
monkey.
bought big cats,
Yeah.
right? And after a while, they become illegal due to maulings and all stuff like that. Or just the
having
fact
their
that
owners.
endangering the wildlife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can't have
Keeping
that.
it as a domestic animal, it's not fair to them. They should be.
No, they should be out in the wild doing its own thing.
So there was laws passed against it. So I think that people just rather got fed up of buying loads of steak and meat for your cat, for the tiger. And like they do with dogs and cats these days, they just let them go, don't they, into the wild. I believe there's probably
I think it's a couple of rich people who've
a
let
lot of
out.
cats that, yeah, maybe. I mean,
You know what I
like,
mean?
look at people like Mike Tyson. He's got a tiger, hasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
You know, if that gets out.
Down where we are now, I knew someone who had a crocodile and also someone who had a tiger.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like,
I'm
when
gonna
I was
see my
younger.
pet
yeah.
crocodile.
Yeah, it was like, don't put your hand in there.
Yeah, crocodile will fucking eat you.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
What's the most exotic pet have you ever had? I would like to be interested to know by the listeners. If you want to tell us,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is it parrot,
send us
parrot
a
or a
send us a
squirrel?
comment in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah. Bruce Willis, you know him, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy who
yeah.
refuses to die hard.
Yes.
Or he dies hard.
And
I don't know. He's not died yet.
The man cannot do another movie now either.
Why?
He's not allowed to because there was some illness or something he's got.
Really?
Yeah, so he's
in a new movie. I'm pretty sure he's like.
he's got to stop. He's been ordered to stop.
Is that just like, we're sick of your movies, Bruce? We're ordering you to stop.
Well, I don't. Yeah, well, no, this
You're
is
not a die hard anymore. You're
medical.
pretty much close to death.
medical. Yeah, that he's been sort of like forced to retire.
Well, I don't know what with Bruce Willis at the moment, because there's a speculation that Bruce Willis has actually sold his likeness rights,
Oh, I
the
thought you were
rights to
gonna
his
say soul then.
face. He might have sold his soul. You don't know.
The rights for his face.
Yeah, against it, but basically denying it. He's denying reports that the film star has sold the rights to his face.
Someone had better
last
copy his
week,
face,
it was
then.
wildly reported that Willis has basically made a deal. It's the first of its kind deal.
Yeah.
To sell his face as a deep fake. So future movies, you could have Bruce Willis appearing in movies like for the next 100 years.
And it won't be Bruce Willis.
Well, no, it'd be Bruce Willis's face, so you'd be Bruce Willis in a Bruce Willis movie.
Well, no, because it's not Bruce Willis. It's Bruce Willis's face. It's not Bruce Willis who'll be doing the acting. So then the actor is losing.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah,
It's-
because, I mean, if we just want to see, this is another way creativity is being stripped away.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
feel
totally.
like, you know, if these deals happen, there's, like you've just said, there's no room for new talent coming in.
Yeah.
But then also, it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why would you want to?
how would you know whether you are watching a real person or a deep fake? It's getting to that point where the
Yeah,
technology's so
totally.
good that, you
well,
know...
if people do not go to the
I mean,
movies
look
with
at-
them in,
let's look
then it
at
will
the,
stop.
The you know, the Boba Fett series on Disney Channel,
I didn't
right?
see it, yeah, I
on
wanted to.
Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
So Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
returns as a young Luke Skywalker,
Right.
and he's deep faked,
Yeah.
right? But no one's cheering for, like you say, the actor who was
he actually
thinking.
plays.
We go, yay, Mark Hamill's back as Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a deep fake, but it's like, are we that kind of sucked into that now
Yes.
that we accept it?
Yes.
Because CGI, for a long time, has failed on human faces
Yeah.
and realism in terms of what we see as a person.
Yeah.
Because our brains, we can suss out a fake person and
Yeah.
a fake face
Yeah.
very easily, compared to like your Woody and Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's a solid object. It's meant to look plasticky. They get
Yeah.
away with that in the realism, so it looks real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when they cut to Andy, oh, whoa, we're watching a CGI
fuck's
movie.
that? Yeah, what the fuck?
Exactly. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, Sid's fucking like,
Totally.
looks like a cartoon character. Yeah. In the same respect, now it's getting so good
Yeah.
that it's actually got to the point where you can confuse people. I did an experiment.
More lies on top of
I
lies.
made there's actually a website where you can generate AI faces.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
You can kind of like put audio on it and create like
Yeah,
a presenter basically. And I thought, right, I want to see if I can make a face look so realistic that I can fool somebody into believing it's a photograph, right? Yeah. And I did that. I made a face. I edited in Lightroom and Photoshop and made it look as much as I could as a photograph. and I get comments now on like photo websites that say, "Oh, it's a great portrait," or it's whatever, and it's an AI simulated portrait, yeah. But
there's quite a few companies that are doing that now. Are using it without your knowledge of what's
totally.
going on.
I mean, it's like a new industry, isn't it? I mean, but like in terms of artists and like there was a thing about like Michael Jackson performing in a hologrammatic
that's right
sense.
Yeah.
Do you think that like although their media and like the records and films and stuff should live on, that artists should just pass away and like not make anything else, that if they die? It's really weird to say. It's like, actors shouldn't be making films after they die. That doesn't sound
right. You don't want
right.
to lose the artist that you've grown up with or you've liked for so long. But
it's
then
like, all right,
there has to be an end.
So, like you've just said, I'm not watching a Bruce Willis movie. Yeah. I'm watching a fake Bruce Willis movie because it's not Bruce Willis acting.
Yeah.
He's none of his sort of ad-libs or, flair. You're using an actor to stage the body, and then deep faking the face.
Well, I would do the thing.
The voice is something totally, that defines a character. Yeah. So how are you going to deep fake the voice and make it sound like Bruce Willis as well? It's weird.
Well, I sort of, if I was in this position that I can't work no more, but I could get half a pay and just put my fucking face on there, then that position, I would open up to it. But then in the longer run, it just ends up ruining the new artists that are coming through and the artists that want to come through, because it'd be just like you said.
Well, I'm not too fussed about him ruining the new artists at the moment. I mean, we're on the way down here. I heard a sample of "I'm Blue Dabba Dee Dab and Da" and a remix of fucking "Tiny Dancer" with Britney Spears. So I'm not too thrilled about the new stuff that's coming out at the moment.
But then you get you won't be able to see that glimmer, that little rough diamond in the rough
back in the distance who does not yet signed.
Yeah, who didn't get the opportunity to do it, and then like you were saying about the ripples in the water, that like what if he earns some money, he might give some money to someone else that actually gives money to other people and like builds up.
I've been. I just need to say this because you've just mentioned the ripples, but nobody knows what that is because we were talking about it before the show. Now we were always talking about the new series of Quantum Leap that started. If anyone knows what Quantum Leap is, watch the original series. It's fucking awesome. But they've remade. Well, we'll get over this quickly, right? But like, there's a remake or a reboot or a continuation. Is it more a continuation? Don't know what yet. Yeah. But I have been coming up with some amazing fan theories, and to be honest, it's like I don't know why the writers from Quantum Leap just don't come and hire me.
Yeah, you better write a script, mate, and throw it in there.
Anyway, so Bruce Willis selling his face is a big denial. He's not done it, so nothing to worry about. But I'm sure that's on the cards of someone soon.
It's not a great face, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's got a better face than you. I've got a story here before we get into NASA news. This is again. Creative story, but this is a kid who is actually being creative and not getting bum rushed by AI. It's a 10-year-old boy who's making art that's selling for over 100 grand.
Fucking what?
He's really good. He's very kind of Picasso-esque. He's very kind of surrealist. Yeah.
Right.
He's a young artist called Andreas Valenza, and his family are at an opening of No Rules, which is his solo exhibition in New York.
Right.
So in 1939 or 1937, Nazi Germany and fascist Italy bombed a town in northern Spain.
Right.
Yeah. And during the Spanish Civil War, an aerial bombing killed hundreds of civilians, with a huge death toll.
Yeah.
So almost a century later, the horror of war has inspired him to create all these portraits. Okay. Like I say, they're very kind of Picasso-esque. And quite interesting. I'd check them out. I don't know. I think it's kind of like quite I think he's for a 10-year-old. Do you know what I mean?
10-year-old.
Yeah, he's a 10-year-old. And like I say, it's like, do you know when you see
there's talents?
Those really surrealist where the eyes are all over the show he's very quite like bright coloured. I check him out. I mean, he's like 10 and he's doing some really weird work. So, you know.
Freddie ain't got the money to buy his paintings, right? But, I might have a little look.
Yeah, he's good.
It sounds like it if you're earning 100 grand of fucking baiting.
Yeah, well, that's what he was saying there anyway. But yeah, he's saying that like it's inspired by all that bullshit. So war, honor of war, and all the rest of it. So
Fucking time.
this is the thing about art, right? Yeah, and photography. When people say, "Oh, but you know, like you've got to be analytical and write about what your stuff's about," it's like, well, you interpret it how you want. Yeah, right. What if as an artist? You leave it open to interpretation, right? Me telling you what it's about just kind of like ruins that. It's like, well...
Yeah, but the thing about art is, I could shit on a wall and watch it come down, slope down, and you could put that as art.
Well, I actually did... There was a story about that I needed to raise, actually. You've just reminded me, and I didn't find it tonight, but like, there's been a protester, who actually defaced... Captain Tom's memorial.
Oh, dirty bastard.
Exactly. And the way they did it was by pouring human feces over it.
Oh,
right?
The police are
all over it, right? And the reason they said they did it, this girl, was saying that she belongs to a movement about private jets, right? And saying that private jets are killing, like, the fucking, like, you know, creating... carbon emissions, and they should be banned, right? Which is fair enough, right? I don't disagree with what they're saying. But she says, by keeping these planes in the air, right, it's shitting on everything Captain Tom represented, right? So, in protest, she went and smeared shit all over Captain Tom's memorial. To me, that makes fuck all sense. And I feel like she's very disrespected the memorial, to be honest. Yeah.
There's no need. You could have done it in different ways.
It's like, what the fuck did Captain Tom have to do with any private jets? I think the guy never flew in a private jet. Yeah, right? So what the fuck is that got to do with it?
Yeah, and he didn't do it for climate change anyway.
I know. Is she doing it to fucking, like, basically because it's an influential guy and get a name in the paper? I feel it's disgusting.
Sounds like it.
Honestly, that it was disgusting. You know.
Shows the ignorance of some people.
There you go. Yeah. So, we've got a bit of NASA news.
We have indeed.
Yeah.
And we could kick off with Firefly Aerospace, a new company in America. They failed for the second attempt for one of their new rockets. And their major problem was it wouldn't lift off.
Houston, we got a major problem.
Bit more fuel, mate. Bit more fuel.
Can you get out and kind of bump start us?
Yeah.
Give us a push.
Yeah, they've just, like, you know, California group, but like it's just. But that just shows, like, you know, there's a new groups all the time. Even Britain have just gone back into the space race. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of movement for us to get out there. But I think it's going to fail in there. It was Nostradamus. There's going to be a failure in certain areas.
Right, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I've got this story here about the Office of the Directors of National Intelligence.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's got everyone buzzing because there's a UFO.
Yeah?
Yeah, on the US Intelligence Agency's logo.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just like, basically, it's got all these sort of different, like, aerial machines, like, you know, your bombers, your stealths, your fucking normal commercial jets, and then a UFO. And it's the actual logo. Yeah, so does that mean they're taking it seriously? No, it's an actual disc UFO.
Oh, disc one.
Yeah,
oh.
I mean, and it's basically all these jets flying over the, you know, this airspace over America, and this UFO basically off in the wings. In the
distance.
So, you know, just hiding in the wings.
I like it.
I do like it. It's got people kind of buzzing about it because obviously it kind of says that they're kind of being a bit more acknowledging about it.
Yeah, they are, but still not, you know, not enough.
Been described as an eye-catching logo on its new website, or on its website, including a UFO on it. There also appears to be a second, slightly different UFO in the logo. I can't see it, really. Where's the other UFO?
What was it? Tic-tac? Triangle?
Maybe. I don't know. But it's kind of being used in the background.
Could it be a circle? Could it be a Foo Fire?
So it's visible alongside a Russian fighter jet, a drone, and another aircraft on its logo.
Why a Russian fighter jet?
Well, I don't know, because it is the US intelligence. Do you know what I mean? So why would you use a Russian fighter jet?
pointing out they're the ones we're fucking watching at.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
We're looking for you Russians,
Yes.
aliens, and any fucker else.
Yeah,
and drones. If anyone's got a drone, you're fucked.
Yeah, true.
So the logo shows like 5 different aircrafts flying above the Western Hemisphere. The first aircraft on the right looks like a civilian jetliner.
Yeah.
The next aircraft, it looks like the Sukhoi Su-57 Felon,
Nice.
which is a Russian fifth generation fighter.
Yeah.
The third craft looks like which is in blue, looks like the hypersonic glide vehicle. And the fourth craft with the twin tails is considered to be a hint of a push propeller behind the fuselage. So they think it's a Berinsky TB2 drone.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Check
that's
it out.
interesting, yeah.
I mean, like I say, it's got the UFO in it, which is, I think, the main, distinctive point to it. I mean, interesting.
Kind of like it, yeah.
I do kind of like that
suggesting.
one. Also, we're being bombarded not just by meteorites and stones and stuff like that, but pummeled by alien spacecraft on a weekly basis.
Well, yeah, because more people are looking up and going, "Oh, look, what's that?"
And then it crashes.
Yeah. I got to agree with over the last especially 5 years, we've had more and more confirmation that there's some objects in the sky and we don't know what they are, and they're moving an ability that we couldn't do.
Can't comprehend.
Yeah,
well,
we couldn't even. Yeah, nowhere near. But yeah, it's good.
Well, also, basically, these, so the reason why they're looking into this, is because, between 1957 and 68, scientists decided that they were going to try and make some new elements, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, they went to the lab, apparently, and did some research. They created some new elements, right? But at the same time, meteorites were landing on Earth, right? Potentially with these elements already on board. So the question is, was it meteorites or was it alloys and elements off spaceships and crafts?
Well, I think
it could be one of the two.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, element 115 that was supposed to be Roswell, that's supposed to actually make the craft hover and be able to move in so many, in the ways that it can. Well, that was introduced into the table, but they can't reproduce it.
Well, this is it, because between those years, there was things that fell to Earth, and they reckon more so asteroids, but you could argue UFOs, that actually contain those minerals. So, did they discover them in a lab, or were they just dropped here? Do you know what I mean?
Well, we're the most dense, not dense, we're the most, in our solar system, we've got the most elements within our planet. So we're very rich as a planet compared to any of the other planets around us.
Yeah, definitely. We're kind of a bit of a
special. We're kind of like a target, if you think about it.
We're great, us.
We are.
Have you got any more NASA news? I got one more story.
Yeah, I got one story. NASA has spotted a protected shield around our next closest galaxy.
Oh, like a Dyson sphere or something. How do you mean a protective shield? Like Iron Man wanted, let's put a suit of armor around the world.
Well, there's these objects that surround the galaxy, but they're perfectly, distance apart.
Someone's put them there, then.
Yeah, and
that's not just
and they're moving as well.
Oh, yeah, that's totally put there. It's like basically in the future they're going to look at planet Earth and go, yeah, well, they've got a load of objects floating around. I mean, we've got a lot now, but now Elon Musk's pumping out satellites to create his satellite network, and Virgin are doing the same here in the UK.
But we might already have one. For all we know, if that's got one, we might have one which is potentially states that aliens are definitely out there, and that we have some kind of protection force or holding force to keep us in our galaxy.
Like a fucking fence,
possibly.
Electric fence.
Well, we haven't left the galaxy.
Maybe.
There's no way near past it.
No, well, we
it,
can't.
You know
Well, like I say, we were talking about going to Mars and stuff by a certain date.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
That's
we're
a
not
trickle, innit, really?
We're not even fucking getting anywhere near it. So
No.
I mean, in terms of going further, that's way off into the distance in terms of our lifetimes. But one thing that might help him get there a bit closer is they're suspecting that there's a buried lake on Mars. Beneath the ice of the South Pole of Mars. A new study is suggesting that scientists have found a lake. Back in 2018, there was evidence that suggested it, and over like hypothesis and trying to work out whether there could be a lake there, they found that there's an area of as large as 18 miles across that likely remains and has liquid. Due to the sort of geothermal heating of the planet.
Is this from NASA?
This comes from the National Astronomy. So the findings were from a study that was published by the Journal of Nature and Astronomy.
Right, because China, I believe, last week, their rover had spotted water, and there's definitely water underneath they basically put out.
They said water has been found on Mars, but it's largely in the form of ice, so liquid water is a major revelation. The discovery was made by analysing the data from 2018 and finding that the European Space Agency and Mars Express spacecraft radar has kind of detected evidence to suggest that this is true.
There's more and more evidence is coming that there's a lot of water there.
They say that there's a number of factors that suggest that it's not a false reading. Do you know what I mean? So like they say that it could have been if it was just one of the factors, but I think that there's more than one, so they can suggest without a shadow of a doubt that this is a possibility.
Well, yeah, because look what happened when...
If that's not too contradictory.
They thought on a rock that there was a microbe on there, and it ended up it wasn't. It was just a bubble on the on the rock, basically.
Well, like I say, however, this is kind of... A lot of it is taking data and making a computer model. But scientists have come up with the conclusion that there's more than likely indeed a presence of a lake there. The study ran similar simulations on various scenarios and depths and pressure, offering independent support that the presence of liquid-based water was there. And I think it's kind of conclusive. So
I think it all depends. I mean, I would last year I would have said right, but it depends now because of the amount of data. Because they found out that a lot of these.
Way, they need water up there for kind of fuel. Because they can make hydrogen out of water. They need it for oxygen. All of that.
Fuel.
So if there is kind of guaranteed liquid water up there, then it makes things a lot easier for people like Elon Musk to set up colonies, because it means that we can refuel and create fuel up there. We can also survive for long periods of time up on these planets. So if anyone goes up there, it's a no come home situation. So it's going to be a case of that we don't want people to be going up there and all just fucking dying. Do you know what I mean?
So
ideally, we need them to have the best sort of fucking chance going. Yeah, exactly.
Taking the city and bringing us along, and then
maybe,
and then getting rid of us, and we're colonizing Mars.
We're here now. We're
Martian
men. Martian men now.
Yeah, we're the aliens. Don't come here again.
We're invading.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Well, that's it. That's it. I think for the end of the show. I think we've covered everything. I hope everyone's enjoyed the show and not been. Well, it's been one of them, hasn't it? It's been very apocalyptic, very doom and gloom. But hopefully we've brought some good vibes. And obviously, like Taylor said earlier, live your life, man.
Yeah.
Don't get bogged down with what could happen.
Yes.
And
if it happens, it happens. At the end of the day, you won't be able to do fucking much about it, so you might as well enjoy yourself. Well,
get the deck chair out, pull up a pew.
Yeah.
Enjoy the end of the world.
Yeah. Sit
with
there.
a tall glass of something.
Yeah, with your missus on the arm and your
Yeah, enjoy
Never
it.
in your other.
Right, well, that's it for the end of the show. We'll catch you next week. If you've got any questions or anything you'd like to discuss with us, make sure you send us a message at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. We're available on Instagram at neverstraightanswer, or you can go to the website at neverstraightanswer.co.uk, where you can go to the contact page. We're also available on Twitter, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast, including iTunes and Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you check them out. We've got pure content,
Pure
man.
stuff there, man.
Bare content on the website, so you won't be bored. Loads of stuff to check out. Yeah. And we'll be back for another episode next week.
We will.
We're creeping up to the 200 mark.
Yeah, we're getting closer.
So thank you to everybody who's continued to listen, and anyone who gets to the end of the show, we love you.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Salute you on that one.
Big salute. And we'll be back next week. Take care. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
Peace.
Out.